Welcome to the South Ops Fire Weather Webcast for Wednesday, June 25th. I'm your host, Kristen Stewart. The Pacific trough that has been overhead the past couple days is continuing to weaken and shift towards the east this morning, so the marine layer is a little shallower than it was yesterday. Even though it is shallower, low clouds have still surged across the coastal plains and over many of the lower coastal slopes. Clearing should be a bit quicker this morning, and another day of abundant sunshine is in store for California. As the Pacific trough works its way eastward and weak high pressure starts to build back in, high temperatures today will rise around 3 to 6 degrees over yesterday, mainly away from the coastline. Being in a transition period switching back to high pressure, today we'll see the greatest amount of daily warming over the next several days. Afternoon highs will rise into the 80s to near 90 for the coastal areas away from the beaches and mid-90s for most of the interior valleys and high desert. Now that high pressure is building back in and the trough is starting to progress east, atmospheric conditions will become more stable across central California today. No thunderstorm activity is expected across the Sierra today, though some cumulus buildups are possible with the lingering moisture and instability. The weather pattern is going to remain highly uneventful through the rest of this week and likely through next week, with no significant impacts expected. Weak high pressure will become re-established over California for the rest of the week, promoting a gradual warming trend and keeping dry weather in place. High pressure will strengthen a little bit this weekend, but no extreme heat or excessive dryness is expected within this weather pattern. Forecast projections indicate that high pressure will weaken a bit early next week, while a weak cutoff low meanders over the area, though exact details in the extended forecast remain unclear at this time. Temperatures will slowly warm through the rest of the week and into this weekend, with highs steadily increasing around 1 to 3 degrees each day on average. By the end of the week, high temperatures will rise back up to a few degrees above seasonal normals. Valley highs will rise into the mid-90s to around 100 by the weekend, and the low desert will likely exceed 110. The marine layer will become shallower as the week progresses, but it will continue to keep the coastal areas cooler in the 60s and 70s. The overall trend in humidity through the period is expected to remain persistent. Minimum humidity will be mainly 12 to 25% above and inland from the marine layer influence each day, with single digits in the deserts. The marine layer is expected to become shallower as the week goes on, so the area of higher humidities will likely become limited to the immediate coastline and a few miles inland as the week progresses. Overnight recoveries will be mostly fair to good outside of the deserts each night. For most areas, winds will be primarily diurnal and terrain-driven each day. For the deserts and adjacent slopes, as well as portions of the central coast, typical afternoon and evening westerly breeziness will continue, with gusts of 20 to 40 miles an hour common over these areas, with occasional higher gusts in localized spots. Nothing out of the ordinary is expected this week, but the warm and dry weather over the interior combined with localized breeziness will lead to a continuation of elevated fire weather conditions over some interior areas. Looking ahead into next week, low-impact weather remains the name of the game. I mentioned earlier that model projections are indicating that a weak cutoff area of low pressure may move overhead sometime early next week. These features are notoriously difficult to forecast, so there is low confidence in where the cutoff low may meander. Despite the uncertainty, this pattern will not bring any significant impacts for the region as a whole. It may bring a potential for isolated mountain thunderstorm activity early next week, but confidence remains low at this time in where or when this may occur. Other than that, slight cooling is expected early next week, but temperatures will remain near or a little above seasonal normals. Those near normal temperatures are likely to stick around through the balance of next week, giving way to a very comfortable and low-impact 4th of July holiday weekend. Large fire potential will gradually increase through the weekend as temperatures slowly rise, but a lack of significant winds or critically low humidity will still limit concerns overall. It is likely that any large fire potential will be primarily confined to grassy fuel types on any wind and terrain-aligned starts during the critical burn window. But we have started to see a few cases where the brush fuels have become contributors to fire activity, and despite the lack of significant fire weather this week, the gradually lowering live fuel moistures will continue to make such occurrences more prevalent in the weeks ahead. Expect light to moderate initial attack activity to continue across the region. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Our next webcast will be on Thursday, June 26th. Have a fantastic day.